I see myself. We're still seeing stream offline on TradingView. If you guys can let me know. All right, now I see myself waiting for YouTube to kind of get the stream up and running. Come on, YouTube. All right, so today's stream title is sudden death or buy the dip, right? It's kind of what I called it, what I named it. I feel like 2 weeks ago, right, here we go, dip or sudden death. I can't really get it centered. Anyway, I feel like, last week the market was high. People were wanting to buy in, trying to follow the trend, buying the up candles. And I even had a cousin reach out to me saying, hey, like, I want to buy some crypto. And I'm like, hey, why don't you wait? Like, the market's up like big percentages, right? Like off the low, Ether's up 43%. It wasn't a good time to buy, right? Look at price action today, and Thursday, Friday, last week's buyers up here, right, are basically underwater. And in my mind, right, is this the BTFD? Now, potentially, right, on Ether, you guys know I just basically stick to fibs. I don't do like super long projections, super short-term projections, right? I tend to just stick to fibs and trade what I see. And before I dive into the charts, I'm going to cover today in the specific order. I'm going to cover Ether, and then I'm going to cover BTC. I'm going to cover the indices, and then some individual plays, right? So you guys smash that like button. Let me know you're in the chat. Do I have the wrong link in Discord? Double check on that. Nope, we got the right link. Awesome. So, looking at Ether, we did a trend break retracement last time, right? The trend break retest. It was really close to 61.8 retrace. Anyway, today what's happening is I see support at 32.29. It's like an unconventional support, but what I see is basically extension support, right? So if we extend this old range, that gives us the fibs for this top, right? Where does that put us today, right? We got a bottom of 21.56. We got a bottom of 24.40. We got a pivot at 29, right? We saw 32.29 act as support previously. It's more around like 32.40 if I narrow them a little tighter, right? So where we are right now, all right? We're seeing the chart really want to stick and adhere to these fibs. Hence, I'm inclined to try and long here, all right? Because sometimes these markets, right, they give a really nice dip entry, and other times they want to do a shakeout, right? But we know initially on these power moves, if the market is truly flipping bull, right, these power moves, they don't give you very many breaks, right? So let me go ahead and move this chart a little bit. All right, so based off this range, you get the extension, and we got the retracements going deep into them. What's up, Paris? Smash that like button, man. Help me out. All right, so these power moves don't give us really big breaks, and seeing this develop, I'm thinking this could be our entry, right? Now, conversely, if this dip was to continue, I can show you, the two levels of support I'd like to interact with are going to be that lower down 61.8, which is at 3107, and the continuation 61.8 off the entire swing at like 2875. Will we get there? It depends how merciful this market wants to be in terms of giving a buy the dip opportunity, right? If we're truly flipping bullish, then I don't think we're going to do that, but we could do those two retracements and still remain bullish, right? So optimistically speaking, I want to see this be a bear trap. And for the last few weeks, my whole motto has been infinite bear trap, right? So why is that going to change? Why is that going to change now? Should it change? Will it change? Will bulls get a retry at lower pricing, right? That's that's the critical question we want answered, right? And I don't have the answer, but I do have the levels. So that being said, I've covered Ether. If you guys have more Ether questions, please ask now. And if not, we're just going to go ahead and hop into BTC. BTC is doing something a little different. It's been a little harder to, it's trading more choppily, right? And I think ETH BTC still looks fairly bullish. As of last stream, I said resistance was at 47K, 46,900, right? And it has proven to be just there. I think in terms of a bullish retracement on the trend break, do we have a trend break retracement? We kind of do. It's not a typical fashion BTC retrace, so I'd say it's rung the 50. It's trying to test the 50, deep tested the 50. Let me go into a smaller time frame. Yeah, so if you get a close above 44,356, we could see that strong bounce. Conversely, we do know that a 50% retrace is super bullish. What's going on off this one? It's at the 61.8. So I think we rang the daily low. I really think we rang the daily low. And for me to say that, that's like a fairly ballsy prediction, right? And am I going to stick to it? That's the magic question, right? Like I think I'm going to stick to these guns, guys. I think we rang the daily low. I signaled Ether at the low today and also signaled Theta at the low today. So hopefully I'm right. And we get moving. We get moving to the upside. Right? Yeah, I think be a volatile leg up. All right, so that covers BTC. That covers Ether. Let's go back to BTC. Sorry. The Coinbase chart. Yeah, I think if we get this close above, we could literally have seen the daily low today with a smaller 61.8 retrace on BTC. ETH BTC, I believe, still looks fairly bullish. Let's go to the weekly. It's sub 61.8 on the major swing, but since 2020, right, for the last 2 years, Ether has been kicking BTC's ass, right? It's hard to say if that's going to continue right now. We need to see that 61.8 retracement to complete, so probably be a little bit more impulsive move out of ETH. Retest 0.07 and 0.08 in terms of BTC price. All right, let's look at indices. I'd been not long on indices. I did signal an SPXS call position last week, looking for the dip to occur this week, and we're looking at the dip. I haven't closed out those shorts yet. The weekly is not looking super promising right now, especially on the ES, right? We got this doji on at the 61.8, and then price starting to trickle back down. So yeah, I mean that was kind of the short entry I wanted. I didn't trade it like I should have. We'll see what the charts give. I'm sure there will be a smaller 61.8, right? Like we saw this on the ES yesterday, right? That could have been a pretty good short. I had the SPXSs, and I do think this is, I'm not going to call it a bear trap just yet, but I do think we're still in infinite bear trap mode, especially in tech, and my biggest exposure is tech in terms of the stock market. Now, if we were to stick to the same principles as we were in crypto, and we're talking about a trend break type retracement, right? Which would be this swing low. We're not quite at the 50, right? I think we could probably rank 43.37, maybe 43.21, right? Let me look at the higher up retracement on the retest. Yeah, let's call 44.38, right? I think that would be an interesting point to leverage back up. I'd want to see it hold, though, right? I wouldn't want to see us ringing another low. If we're ringing another low, it's going to be shit show. Hopefully it doesn't happen. or make a new low. Let's look at the ES. Oh, sorry. I want to look at NQ. That's tech. That was the most sold off sector. Index was down 20%, 22%. Some stocks were down 70. So I do think you got a lot of squeeze potential into a new all-time high. I think the chart's just going into consolidation, right? And that's just my thoughts. I'm gonna run a really long-term extension of this trend. This pivot high to this low. Don't tell me we topped. Dang, we topped right at it, right? We topped right at that 15K mark with wicks on the weekly. I mean, we do see some support back here, right? What about COVID dip? I think COVID dip was a significant liquidity move. Jeez, below those extensions too. All right. I'm not going to make more of a bear case, but that's kind of what's popping up on these long-term fibs. Could also be a bear trap, right? So in terms of a trend break retracement, which is basically what I'm eyeing for everything, we're right at the 50% below it. I think 14.366 would be a good potential low, right? Like swing low here for a continuation up or for more of a shakeout. Because we didn't quite see 61.8 on the NQ, no matter how I draw it, right? Above. Usually we ring these right on the money. Oh, we did have one, sorry. So we did have one right on the money, rang it, and now it's pulling back. So I feel like we should have maybe taken up some shorts up here, more aggressive shorts than the SPXs I called out. All right. That's my assessment. So looks like indices are going to be coming down to retest a 61.8 or 50% type move. Either possibly low of the day already rang. BTC also possible low of the day already rang. That would be the most ideal optimistic scenario. If not, we do have our targets below. All right. What does everybody have for me? We got any chart requests? I want to take a look at Twitter. I had a massive gap up move. I'd published on Twitter thinking it's going to go on like a massive run. Published on it in 2021. When did I publish this? October 23rd, 2020, right? So I've been looking at this chart for a mega run for some years. Basically what I saw was this formation that was on Facebook, accumulation formation. Basically told me that Twitter is going to follow its path. And can we get it to play? Can we get it to play? Come on, TradingView. Anyway, so that was the initial break of 50.28. We can just go back on the chart and look at that. So you're basically at these levels. And I was thinking it's going to go up to the 80s, right? And maybe like 124s. And it didn't quite do that. And then we had Elon come in and buy some stake, majority holder right now. He did it right at the retest. So it was technically a very sound place for him to buy. And that's where retests happen, right? Like retests happen, and then certain players in the market say, hey, I want a piece of this action. And you start buying in January, and that's when the retest lows occurred, right? So I still think this is my wild horse for the year in terms of the mega bet. Guys, no questions, no interaction. Really slow stream. Good morning, White Dove Film. WDF. You guys hit me with some charts. Please hit me with some tickers. Else I'm going to call this stream a day and resume my normal daily activities and maybe go to the gym. Stop looking at these dips. All right, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I'll be back on live on Friday. Sorry, it wasn't quite much engagement. All right, Cooley, thank you for the shop drop. Shop drop. So last time we looked at shop, I think I was wanted to hit the 798, right? Maybe I was running a little wider, 61.8, which appears that I was. But then again, right now we have two things. We have a bearish continue. Put my phone on do not disturb. Getting a lot of pings today. So we got our 61.8 bear, right? And now we're retracing back. What's the next test? A 61.8 bull, right? Of this last swing. And there's no internal pivots other than this big candle up. So looking at shop, the dip is going to be 611, right? At this point, that's what we want to see hold, right? And the entire market's red today. It kind of was the last 2 days. So I think we got to move to 611, right? That would be a good point to start leveraging back up, right? If 643 holds, what do we know about 50% bullish retracements? They're mega bullish, right? So in terms of dip buying, 643 looks good, 611 looks good. In terms of tops, maybe 722 was. I think what's critical now to assess whether like Shopify is going to continue a downtrend or enter an uptrend is we know our smallest 61.8, most recent one is 722, and we know 611s are bullish one, right? So the chart's likely going to get pinned between these two levels, right? I feel like when we break above 772, that would confirm bullish, and our first like smaller signal would be a bounce off 611 or a really strong push of 643, right? And where have we seen moves like this before? I'm just gonna highlight Apple, like post-election, pre-election type thing, where we saw something very similar, right? We saw our 61.8 bullish retrace right at 107, and then we saw our bearish retrace, right? So basically the chart's doing something like it's doing here in terms of Shopify, right? Where we have 61.8, we want to see 61.8 support, right? And we have our 61.8 resistance. So think of Shopify as being here right now and is sold off to 113, right? And if it bounces here, that's really bullish. But if it continues down at a 611 mark, right, and does 61.8 and then bounces there, then we're literally at a pivotal space in time where the chart is stuck between, just trying to decide whether it's bullish or bearish. Morning, Delilah. Where do you get your tickers from? Hot Cross. Never even heard of this thing. Man, that looks not great. What exchange is this? Let me look at Hyobi, KuCoin. There we go. Here's some data. That gives us a good idea of what in the heck is going on. Man. This thing's beat to death. Alright, I want to try to figure out why we pivoted over here at 15 cents. And I want to try to figure out what else, what are the other possibilities. I don't see a 15-cent pivot on this extension. Definitely won't see one here. What about here? Don't see one there. Alright, so I can't figure out why we pivoted right here. I think if this is going to bottom, Delilah, probably want to hit the 17-cent mark, right? 17.92. Or more than likely, unless we have an overlap. We have an overlap, right? 17.7, right? So 17.9 and 17.7 is going to be the area to look out for. Like if you're looking to shop this dip, that's what I'd look for. Even if we go in on a smaller scale, like a shakeout dip, yeah, even 17.5, right? So this one looks tricky. In terms of a pivot zone, this is where I'd want to interact with something like this. Trading viewers is super quiet today. What else? You guys get any other ticker suggestions? I'll look at Ether again. I think one of my that and Theta are my only leveraged longs as of today. Jeez, man, we're knocking out that daily low. It's not good. That's not good. Looking for a lower low now. I was thinking, we rang it a couple of times. It's over. It's not over until it's over, right? No bueno. Bulls need to show some force over here, or else this is gonna be a little bit of a shit show. At this point, I'm thinking we're gonna hit 3108, right? I'm not saying definitely, but at this point, that's the possibility. Can't do anything. All right. RMRK. I'll take that as a last ticker and LTC. RMRK. This one's looking a lot like some of the other alts that we looked at on last week, right? Where they were trying to ring the 61.8. I think it should, if it turns off 17, I'd look for 22 as a top if we get this kind of swing. But if we don't, then probably downtrend continuation. It's looking like it's doing the Adam and Eve that a lot of other charts have done, right? The Adam's like a deep V. The Eve is more of a bull. I'd look for support as 17.5. Paris, I think it should, man. I think it should. To complete like a major cycle, I think it should. If it doesn't, then it's like really freaking bearish, man. Geez, LTC's having more of a sell-off. Broke the uptrend, broke the downtrend, and just decided, nope. I'd look for a swing continuation. A turn off 114 is really bullish. A turn off 110 would be sufficient. It would be like market in equilibrium. I would have loved to see 19.5 hold. I would have loved to see that, but it didn't happen. All right, fam bam. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's stream. I'll be back on Friday, same time, same place, same everything. Hopefully different market structure with a post bottom